Jada Emperor checking in once again. Y'all already know what time it is. This is going to be a general reading for the sign of Sagittarius. Let's dive straight into it. What does Sagittarius need to know on this lovely day? Keep in mind, this is just a general. I do appreciate all the support, the contributions, likes, comments, donations, subscribes. Shouts out to Sagittarius. What do we need to know in this general reading, though? What do we need to know? The star card is showing itself. Okay. A wish come true. Power. You're more powerful than what you think. You have more clout. You have more pull than what you think. The Queen of Swords is showing itself. Someone wants to come back and talk. Someone wants to spin the block, Sagittarius. A Libra, a Taurus. But you're in your own world. It's your world. They just living in it. The Mage. You got other things on your mind at this time, like what you're manifesting or whatever you're doing, the task at hand. I'm picking up on outside energies, but I'm also picking up that you're more concerned about what's going on in your personal life. Okay. Bear with me as I tap into the energy. I'm going to shuffle a little bit more. Thank y'all for being patient. Sagittarius. What does Sagittarius need to know at this time? Please and thank you. Gain. Taking the independent route. Strength. You could have Leo in your chart. No Leo. Don't have to be. What does Sagittarius need to know at this time? Must be some important messages here. I was getting intuition was telling me to do a reading for Sagittarius. So I was like, okay. The Fool card. Expect opportunities to pop up, a chance to face your fears, a chance to take a leap of faith. For some of y'all, it's a new work opportunity, which will bring more stability. You may be iffy or questioning it. You won't know until you give it a try. I'm getting there is a lot of abundance, though. If you take that leap of faith, if you take that chance, there is some abundance. But it will require you to go through a tower moment. A Fool card with that tower. Or this will initiate a tower moment. That Fool card. All right, the first card out was the Journalist. Fire and air energy. You could have air in your chart, but someone wants to talk. People were coming to you to talk, or conversations in the recent past. Oppression. So it's like you don't want to talk. You don't really have much to say. Say less. You got your personal problems to figure out, Hermit. Yeah, you've been keeping to yourself in the recent past. Let's just say if there was a lack of communication, that lack of communication has got you in this energy of the Ten of Swords, the Hermit. Because the Hermit represents someone who's just overthinking, no action, just retrospect. Just looking back, thinking. A lot of thinking, not enough doing. Gain. This forced you to focus on yourself. So if something blew up, if something hit the fan, it was meant to happen that way so you could be more independent and successful within your own right. When it comes to spirituality or even a believer in God, we tend to look out for others, but we're also very independent. We like to do things on our own. We don't like to depend on people for our health and wealth and well-being. Strife. Fighting fire with fire much. Some of y'all are still angry or upset, or somebody could literally be coming for you. Don't come for no goddamn Sagittarius. What you thinking? Change. So if you do face any challenges, it's initiating a lot of change in your life. Even the way you respond to certain situations and drama and stuff. You're less reactive. The Wheel of Fortune. You're using your free will. What is the advice for the current energy? The day trader, keep doing what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. It's working. If you got a job, keep showing up to work. If you have a YouTube, keep posting. If you're investing in stocks and bonds, check it daily. Whatever you're doing, the day trader, this is repetitiveness. This is also like a prediction that you're going to be doing the same thing, or whatever you're doing is working. Let's continue. Success. So you don't mind fighting for what you believe in. You don't mind fighting for what you deserve. That fire, that strife that I mentioned earlier, that 5 of Wands, you're going to get someone else, is how you're going to end up making or getting success. I got to download real quick. How you sex is also how you fight. So if you fuck crazy, you fight crazy. I'm just picking up on that energy from the 5 of Wands. A lot of sexual energy, but it turned into anger. Or just fire, passion, emotions. The outcome is the therapist. Needing or seeking advice from a professional. Having someone to talk about your feelings with. Sorting out those emotions. Get into the bottom of whatever this is. Look at the room, it's flooded. There's fishes in there. Where you're dealing with a water sign, you know fire and water don't mix, Sagittarius. Could even have water in your chart. That's a deadly combination. The universe. Some of y'all need to heal emotionally in order to continue to manifest. If you're picking up on blockages, or if you have blockages due to the past, it's because you need to talk about what you're going through. Just having someone to talk about. Sometimes people do come to me for readings, for spiritual advice, and which I do give that. But oftentimes, or half the time, sometimes people just need someone to talk to. Now, if you don't have anyone to talk to, then seek advice from a professional, the therapist, or this is the outcome. Then we got the universe. So healing up this Queen of Cups will help you manifest in the real world. Let's continue. The Ace of Cups. Yeah. Healing your emotions is going to open up the floodgates. Or forgiveness. Giving grace. Forgiving yourself even. Forgiving others will open the floodgates to fertility, to abundance, to joy. Whatever this Ace of Cups means to you, for me it represents sacred, purity, youth, the fountain of youth almost. If you want to get reconnected emotionally, if you want to tap back into your real true self, you have to be able to process and express your emotions, Sagittarius. That this is what you could be going through, or this is just whatever the blockage is. The activist, see? And this is in that vice. The activist has a megaphone. She's standing tall. She meaning business and she's standing on business. Now, regardless of your gender, sex, or even preference, these readings are energy fluid, meaning it doesn't matter if a man or a woman is in the car. What matters is the energy, because energy don't lie. Energy don't lie. The activist. What you have to say is important. The mage. Confirmation. The mage has multiple things at their disposal. Those candles represents wisdom. That sword represents protection. That cup, emotions. That infinitive sign represents hidden or sacred knowledge. And the rabbit hole goes deep. The Bosch. Celebrating your accomplishments, celebrating you getting over something, celebrating your goals, or just celebrating in general, having that balance. Now, what is the last card that's going to come out? Hopefully the Temperance. Oh, the public defender. Wow. Okay, that was totally unexpected. Queen of Wands, minor arcana, but it's still very important. This is reiterating the seeking advice from a professional, the public defender. Now, some of you could be dealing with a domestic case or a civil or justice case, but regardless, this is you calling for backup. If it's not you dealing with a court case or some type of civil case, this is you calling for backup, calling for people that you know, calling for help. Queen of Wands. Your support system, your team. Now, the Temperance card didn't come out at all in the spread. Let's see the Temperance card. Usually you can scroll through this actual spread and see what's going on as far as the storyline. I'm just trying to see how far along down the storyline is the Temperance. Where's the Temperance at for Sagittarius? This deck is a little different. I want to say this card represents the Temperance. Because the cards, like, for example, the Mage is the Magician. And this card, the Temperance, could represent, I think it's the Artist. Usually you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Yeah, this is the Temperance card. I just looked in the back and there's the Temperance in the back. I just realized that for the first time. I always looked at this as the art card, but combining the best of both worlds. What's near the Temperance? So what's got you caught up is trying to move on from a dead-end situation or a emotional situation. Cancer energy, Chariot energy, and it's evolving to a Cups. The reason why it's so hard for you to move on from this person, regardless if y'all are connected or not, it's because the feelings are mutual. If you ever go through a breakup or like a separation and you feel like the partner is still thinking about you and you can also still think about them and pick up on their thoughts, when the feelings are mutual, there's an energetic soul tie between the two, and the feelings between the two is like connecting the dots. That's what's upholding the relationship, or that telepathic communication, or just that urge or that feeling that you can't shake. Wow. I'm going to use a Rebel deck couples edition, and then I'll pull a card for each sign. Whoa, there it goes. You are not being heard. Say that shit again louder. And then at the bottom we got, this didn't come out, but this is at the bottom of the deck that I just pulled. Forgive. Now, with the you're not being heard, say that shit again louder. That just proves what I said, the blockage in communication. A lack of expression. You're not being heard. Say that shit again. The activist. There goes that megaphone. And this is in that advice. Wow. Damn. So somebody's expecting to hear from you, or vice versa. Let's pull a card for each sign. Sagittarius dealing with each sign all the way from Aries to Pisces. Again, I appreciate all the love and support. I think I was getting an intuitive download to do a Sagittarius read, because I wasn't going to do Sagittarius today. Maybe tomorrow. But I think I got the download to do the reading in my intuition because somebody needed to hear this message today. This sounds very specific. If this ends up resonating, hit that like. If you want me to pick up on your energy, comment. What do we need to know for Sagittarius dealing with each sign all the way from Aries to Pisces? Please and thank you. Yeah, but that was very interesting. I went to go search for the Temperance card, and I realized the art card is actually the Temperance card in this deck. It's like a New York type of setting. This is the Urban Tarot deck. It's like a New York city line type of setting, type of theme to these cards. The art card represents the temperance. That was very interesting. And we had the temperance kind of just like hidden in the back on a mural, on a portrait, on a canvas. What do we need to know for Sagittarius dealing with each sign all the way from Aries to Pisces? You could be an artist, a painter, a musician, someone who puts out music, someone who puts out art, someone who paints or builds, or could even be a motivational speaker or anything of that nature. Any type of art, whatever you do, some type of creative where you can express yourself with your hands, or emphasis on expressing yourself with your hands, or just even vocal, like again, musicians, music, you're tapped in musically, as far as like expression, songs and frequencies and stuff like that. The dancer showed up as well. We know Sagittarius can dance, but what do we need to know for Sagittarius dealing with each sign all the way from Aries to Pisces? Bear with me as I shuffle and tap into the energy. Using the same deck, so I gotta get it clear it up, clean the dishes. Thank y'all for being patient. There goes that Fool card showing itself again. Some of y'all are so afraid, but I'm getting, once you initiate this thing that you're afraid of, it'll seem afraid of at first, but after a while, or not even after a while, after the first time or after the initiation, you're off and running. You'll never go back to the way that you were doing it before once you initiate this. And it may cause a tower. That's probably why it's scary. But it's a faulty foundation. If there's a tower, you need to be rebuilt from the ground back up. Sagittarius dealing with an Aries, it's going to be an abundance or celebration or a coming together. If you're dealing with a Taurus, they're not going to change. Hella predictable. They're going to do the same thing every day consistently over and over again. Vice versa, reverse the roles if necessary. If you're dealing with a Gemini, they're moving on, traveling long distance, or getting over their feelings for you. If you're dealing with a Cancer, death, physical health. Health is wealth, but in this case, health is deteriorating. So lack of wealth, lack of health, bad news, ending of a relationship. If you're dealing with a Leo, they're independent, and you should be independent from this Leo. If you're dealing with a Virgo, stability. They can bring you stability or help you become more stable. If you're dealing with a Libra, they're spying on you. They're watching you. If you're dealing with a Scorpio, they got something to say. They want to have a conversation. If you're dealing with a Sagittarius, the game master, you're moving strategically. You're covering your moves. Checkmate. It's chess, not checkers. If you're dealing with the Capricorn, change. There needs to be a change, and there will be a change. If you're dealing with an Aquarius, the seducer. They want to seduce you and get what they want out of you. If you're dealing with a Pisces, swiftness, quick action, quick fire, quick communication, rushing in. Could even be love bombing or passion bombing. Damn, that came straight out. This is for Sagittarius. It's the dragonfly. Magic, spontaneity, immediacy, change. Wow. Right now is the time, Sagittarius. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.